the past 3 years, hundreds of people have been kidnapped in the 6 states that make up Nigeria's southwest geopolitical zone. Many were lucky they were released after ransom was paid by friends and families. But many victims were also unlucky. For some, their families and organizations paid the required ransom, but they still lost their lives in the kidnappers' den. Many more were kidnapped and were never heard of again to date, especially those whose families could not raise the required ransom. In the same vein, unknown number that were kidnapped were killed because their families could not pay ransom for their release. Monarchs, academics, lawyers, pastors, journalists, and people from all walks of life have been victims of kidnappers in the past few years. Saturday's Sun spoke with some lucky victims of kidnapping, and they shared their agonizing tales of horror while in the den of kidnappers. Endless run of terror. In April 2019, an Ibadan-based lawyer, Mr. Musibau Adetumbi, was kidnapped at Iwa Raja in Osun State along the Ilesha-Akure road. Also in May of the same year, a professor of orthopedic surgery and traumatology, Adeyinka Adegbeyingbe of the Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, Ile-Ife, Osun State, was kidnapped between Ashejire and Ikire towns in Osun State while traveling from Lagos to Ile-Ife. On March 16, 2020, two sisters of the same parents, Pastor Omobola Adepoju, who then just came back to Nigeria from the United States, and Mrs. Abiodun Ifeoluwa, were kidnapped at a farm in Badeku area of Ibadan. The two sisters are daughters of former director of sports, Old Western State, and ex-proprietor Subuola Memorial Nursery Primary School, Ibadan, late Chief Eniola Adesina. A monarch Ashi Gogon of Igogon in Ibarapa North Local Government Area of Oyo State, Oba Lasisi Adeoye, told Saturday's Sun that one of his wards was kidnapped. His name is Monsuru and is my brother's son. He was freed on the 5th day after he was abducted. They trailed him to where he was praying in the mosque. They also pretended to be praying. We paid ransom to rescue the boy. There are other people kidnapped by these same Fulani people. We paid 5 million naira ransom. Another boy, Shegun Oloshun, was also freed 7 days after he was abducted and after paying 15 million naira. Those rescued told us that their doctors were Fulani people. Wife of Babaso, a traditional ruler in Igboora, spent 4 days in kidnappers' den. The Ashawo of Ayete, the headquarters of Ibarapa North Local Government, Oba Emmanuel Okeniyi Bori Shabumi, stated, "My younger brother Ajani was kidnapped 3 years after. We have not seen him. Oh my goodness. Another one is Yekini. We are yet to see him 2 years after. So are also some of our rich men. They kidnap them and collect money from them." In the second week of April 2020, Olori Fumbi Ojo, wife of Baba Asho of Igbo Leyin, and her daughter were kidnapped and were later released. At a forum in Ibadan earlier this year, Alaafin of Oyo Oba Lamidi Olaiwola Adeyemi III said traditional rulers in the state contributed money to pay ransom to secure the release of the monarch's wife and daughter. You can imagine. And these are the ones who are not saying anything about the Fulani Esme Wahala. They are not saying anything. You know, when people begin to talk, especially those bloggers, either they call them bloggers or bloggers, yes, whichever way, online, people begin to say, oh, because majority of them are living outside Nigeria, they are in diaspora. People will be telling you that those are the people causing problem. When these people are saying this, you think they are just blabbing. I've seen a lot of all these bloggers that in diaspora. They are the ones who are taking this whole thing upon their head. But people will be telling you that they don't mind them. They are the ones instigating what is happening in Nigeria. They're nothing like that. But all these things are happening. But the conventional media houses will not come out and tell you what is happening. They won't say it. You know that they have been gagged, they have been caged, they can't say anything. You can imagine all these things, and people are saying it. A lot of people are afraid. They're just like, oh, since it has not reached my turn, I mean, let me just be going and be doing my own thing, jelly. They will tell you that the so-called bloggers or the ones abroad, or let's say generally that the Nigerians abroad, they are the ones causing problem. They are making it seem as if they exaggerate it. But see what the one of the indigenous what is it called, media houses, they are talking about it. Now they are just saying it. Of course, what is going to happen at the end of the day? What will happen? Now just to talk, just for you to be aware, so that maybe next time they will add you, or they will add you to the statistics. Now see the way they have been orchestrated, outlining what happened at so time, and nobody, they were not arrested. And the same monarchs, when people are calling for Yoruba nation, they will tell you, oh, Nigeria, this and that. And at the end of the day, they don't have solution. They cannot provide solution. That is where we are at this moment. They can't provide solution, but they will just say, let us just continue to stay in this particular position. I think Olubadan Fibadona is the one who is endorsing Tinubu. At the end of the day, what are they going to do? Nothing. Lagos is a typical example. Let Lagosians tell us that they are living their best life. Because since 1999, Tinubu has been the one ruling. He's the one ruling. You can be deceiving yourself that a Fashola or Ambody, or especially this one, it is even glaring. If you didn't even understand that this man has been the one ruling, at least you should know with Sanwo-Olu, who is now the governor now. You should know that Tinubu has been the one ruling. At least it's a typical example for that. See all these stories, as if you're talking about stories, somebody just writing a script. But all of these things happened. These things happened, not joke. Well, on March 15, 2021, 4 persons, 2 bankers, a palm wine tapper, and another were kidnapped at a spot along Ijebu Ode Ibadan Road. They were reportedly released after payment of 5 million naira ransom. Hey, not even 500,000 naira. To even get 500,000 naira, na my. Even 50,000 naira, na my. On Wednesday, March 17 this year, gunmen stormed a farm in Filiti in Afijo local government area of Oyo State and kidnapped a security guard. In the process, 1 person was killed. Well, shame to the Yorubas. Can you go to Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, Niger, Kaduna to cause problems? You are a coward. For Fulanis to be ruling our forest, and we are making a stupid and nonsense noises to rescue you. It is a joking of the year. You are right. Just leave them with their sweet-coated mouth of Odudua without any positive position of their worth since all these days, telling the same story, same story. That is why the Fulani at the top don't want resistance from indigenous security outfits, so that their kinsmen will have their ways in kidnapping and receiving payments of ransom from people. You can imagine. Of course, it is evidence